Hello, Instagram. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. I wanted to jump on and touch base with all of you guys, see how you're doing, and share a little bit about what I started recognizing yesterday. I wanted to share a little story. How are you guys? This day is beautiful. I am in a parking lot, hanging out in my car. I'm doing well. Can you guys hear me? Let me do something. Hold on. I've been, ever since the clocks got turned back, the energy has been feeling really, really good. It feels very active. It feels, I don't know, I just had a lot more energy. I don't know what that's about. Preparing your heart for what's to come. Okay, so let me share with you guys a little bit about what happened yesterday to me last night. I started going down. Okay, so sometimes I'm guided to jump on YouTube, and my higher self just sort of guides me to these videos, right? And it's very kind of random. And anyway, last night I found myself watching congressional hearings. Okay, I've never listened to congressional hearings. I've been very aware of the deception within our government and the lies and all of that, the manipulation, since I was like 12 years old. But to watch the congressional hearings, I went into a vortex. And what I was recognizing, because I analyze everything through this like lens of energy, and I also know that we're in this collective shadow, right? So I know that the shadow is starting to become visible. So we're in an energetic world, but it's physical in nature, but everything is energy. Everything is energy. You strip all physicality away and everything is actually just energetic. So we're learning how to decipher between physicality and energy. Right? And energy is always going to give you the truest expression of things. Energy is always going to give you the absolute frequency of that experience. Okay? But because we live in physicality, we are deceived by looks. We're deceived by names. We're deceived by physicality. We believe it because we haven't been taught or sort of reminded of how to navigate energetically. So anywho, I know we're in this collective shadow. I know the collective shadow is going to get louder, i.e. we're going to have to physically see the collective shadow. So up until this point, a couple years ago, most of us didn't even realize we were in a collective shadow. And if we did start realizing it, we didn't really see it physically, okay? But right now, we're going to start to see the shadow move into physicality. One beautiful example is the concert with Travis, whatever his name is, right? That is a horrible experience, right? But it's the collective shadow expressing itself physically. It's really dark, demonic energy that has manipulated and programmed singers, performers, and those that are listening to the singing and the performance to be in a dark collective shadow, okay, that creates unconscious behaviors. And we saw it physically, right? So here I am watching these congressional hearings, and I'm recognizing that everybody is playing a role, right? We're all playing a role, all of us. And we all have been playing roles within a shadow. So I'm watching these people lie. I'm watching them manipulate. I'm watching them, do this like he said, she said, better than, worse than, good, bad, etc., right? And it's all so obvious that they are plain roles within the shadow. The shadow is the greed, the fear, the manipulation, the mind control, the lack, the divide, the higher than, the hierarchy, right? And it's mind-boggling to me the more I look at it, because I can see, I'm like laser focused seeing right through this whole facade, this whole stage, right? And that the congressional hearings are still energetic, okay? And what I mean by that is these congressmen, these judges that are trying to move into the Supreme Court, the individuals in the CDC that are being grilled, they're not coming out and saying, I'm evil, I'm dark, I'm lying, I'm manipulating, right? That's not happening yet. So we have to feel what we are seeing. We have to feel what we are listening to. And the problem with that is we have been so mind controlled and we have been so programmed to believe the external authority, to believe the government. We've been programmed to believe it, that we deny the energetics of what we're feeling. We deny the resonance. By the way, this is happening in most communities that you belong in, whether it's a spiritual community, whether it's a religious community, whether it's a self-help community, whether it's a health community where you're like, I'm all about being healthy. I'm not trying to be all negative and dark, but a lot of people are not being authentically who they are. They're playing in shadow. The spiritual community, tons of spiritual teachers, right? We perpetuate a shadow by playing roles within the shadow that we're not even aware of. So to be authentic and transparent and real requires us to look at the fact that perhaps we are playing in shadow ourselves. Perhaps we're not any better than the congressional hearing things that I'm watching, the Travis, whatever his name is, concert I'm looking at, right? The only way we get through this is that we recognize that we're in it and that we may be participating in a shadow. Addictions, shadow. Lack, shadow. Victimhood, shadow. And when I say shadow, when we talk about shadow, it's not bad. It's just an energetic expression that you get to choose to be in or not. It's an energetic consciousness that you get to choose to be in. Okay? And so we are being asked and we are being shown and we are being directed deep into the darkest shadows of the human experience for the sole purpose of beginning to say, wait a second, what have I been in? And do I want to continue to stay in this? Right? Because one of the things I was also noticing last night was, OMG, look at my shadow. Holy cow, look at the way I am. Look at how I still beat myself up over certain things. Look at how I judge, how I attach, do I still play victim in certain things? Do I catch myself playing victim, right? All the little ways that I am still playing in shadow, the collective shadow and the individual shadow. And then compassion and empathy for myself as I notice that. Right? We have to be honest and transparent about who we are. We have to be honest and transparent. We are not better than. We are not, just because you're awake and you're aware of what is occurring doesn't mean that you have found yourself in some holy land where you are out of the collective shadow. Most of us, if you're human, are in and participating in this collective shadow. That's what this evolution is all about. Right? And really starting to pay attention to, am I a wolf in sheep's clothing? And I'm telling you guys, holy cow. There are a lot of people that we are going to start to see through. And it's going to shock us. And it's going to drop us to our knees. And it's going to rattle us. It's going to rattle us. Some of the most brilliant people are playing deep, deep, deep in the shadow. And so the point of all of this is to really start to realize that it is going to get darker. Like, we're going to see, we have to see, physically see, because we don't trust energy. So we're going to have to physically see this collective shadow pop up. Physically. And it hurts, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when you are watching darkness play out, right? And yet we always have a choice in all of this. We always have a choice in how we navigate, how we be in it, right? So, for instance, if you are aware of the fact that you're walking into a concert and that concert feels demonic, that concert feels dark, that concert feels heavy, if we were following the energetic resonance of who we are and how we are designed to be in this world, you'd leave the concert. You wouldn't say to yourself, oh, I paid this much money, I drove all this way, I'm just going to stay, right? We are designed to start to follow energy, to follow resonance, to follow feeling over logic and reason. And the more you do that, the more you will unconsciously and, more importantly, consciously step out of that collective shadow. You won't find yourself experiencing and being numb to the collective shadow. And that's the point, right? The point isn't to ignore the fact that darkness is here. The point isn't to bring ourselves into love and light and unicorns and high frequency all the time, trying to get out of the collective shadow. The point is to stand in the collective shadow and courageously say, what am I feeling? Oh, I'm feeling ... How do I want to be in this? How do I want to experience this? Can I see through it? Am I hypnotized by it? Right? The tiniest little ways in which you are playing in it. The amount of courage it's going to take for us to go through this you can't measure it. You can't measure the amount of courage that it's going to take for us to courageously move through this with our eyes open, our hearts open, our feeling open, meaning our energy open. Right? And understanding that the deception that we have been in has to come out. It has to come out. We have to see it. And the darker it gets, the more we see this, the more we see experiences like that concert the other night, right? The more we see it, the more opportunity we have as the human to step out of it, to never do it again. That singer, what was his name, you guys? Travis something or other? It's very possible. So that Travis singer, whatever his name is, and the congressional hearings, right? Those are the same collective shadows playing out. It's the same collective shadow. Okay? So the congressional hearings are full of deception, deceit, greed, manipulation. Travis Scott, yeah. And the Travis Scott was full of deception and greed and darkness, okay? It's just that they're being played out physically in different ways. The Travis Scott is physical. We're seeing it. We're like, holy cow, I can see what's happening. The congressional hearings, it's like, there's some senators and this is how they talk and there's some judges, but what's behind the role? What's behind the costume? What's behind the costumes? And I am not saying these people are bad, okay? Because I play in the collective shadow. We all do. We're not bad. because we play in the collective shadow. It is we are programmed in this collective shadow. I have this feeling with this Travis Scott guy. He has an opportunity. I was watching some of the videos and I was like, you get hypnotized into the dark. You get hypnotized into that shadow. And the next thing you know, you're playing out the collective shadow as a robot almost. You don't even realize that you are perpetuating this dark, demonic shadow. And I think there are a lot of famous people that get pulled into that demonic energy. And they have an aha moment, a wake up moment, a holy shit moment where they snap out. And they literally pull themselves out of this crippling, hypnotic state. He has the opportunity to pull himself out of that hypnotic state. Whether he does or not is up to him. It's all about free will, right? It's all about free will. But this is what it looks like when the collective shadow crumbles. This is what it looks like when the shadow moves into the light. So, like I've always said, there is so much more hidden within the shadow that we have to courageously allow ourselves to see, right? That we have to courageously allow ourselves to feel. So pay attention to what you are feeling. Pay attention to those instinctual, something just may not be right. Something feels off. This wolf in sheep's clothing type of thing is really deceptive because we have people in authority figures or even really powerful spiritual teachers or religious speakers, teachers, or whatever it is, right? And we put them on a pedestal or we put them in a box. We label them as ... If they have 7 million followers, that must mean they're ... And we have to trust what we feel instead of what we see. We have to trust that. We have to start to watch the entire world crumble, the entire collective shadow crumble. Everything we thought was real is going to crumble. Everyone we thought that had their crap together, their SHIT together, right? Everyone we thought was so, evolved. We're going to watch it all crumble. So what role are you playing? What masks do you have on still, right? What masks do we have on? Because we all have masks. We all play roles. It's all an illusion. This whole world is an illusion. It's an illusion of energy playing in physicality on stage. And the more we recognize that, the more empowered we become. The less we stop judging ourselves, the easier it will be to play in this. The easier it will be to navigate it. Right? Hold on one second. Anywho, just trying to bring somebody on. Didn't work. Does this make sense, you guys? I was doing something in the background. I was playing, trying to bring somebody in. We have to start recognizing this world that we're in and how it works. We have to start seeing beyond the physicality. We have to start remembering what this collective shadow is and what it's all about. We have to stop putting people on pedestals. You know, I was rattled a little while ago, rattled by something I discovered around somebody pretty big in the world, and it's made my stomach sick. I was sick to my stomach because this individual is really well known and somewhat enlightened. And yet behind the scenes, there was all of this really dark behavior being played out. And it rattled me, even somebody that understands the collective shadow, right? I understand the collective shadow. I understand that people are playing in it. But this one really rattled me. It was a doozy. My stomach, I got sick, literally sick to my stomach. And if I got sick to my stomach, I was thinking to myself, my God, what's going to happen when we start to really physically see all of the individuals that we thought were so put together? Our president, other high figures, governmental figures, figures in companies, right? When we start to see just how enmeshed we are in this collective shadow, what it's going to do is bring us back to sovereignty. It's going to bring us back to a state of unique personal expression that nobody knows more than you. Nobody's better than you. You know, I say this on my Patreon community all the time. All of these teachers we look up to, all of these maybe, you know, authority figures we look up to, everyone we look up to, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And it needs to, that whole program and paradigm needs to crumble. We need to stop looking up to people. We need to stop putting people on pedestals. We need to stop thinking that somebody else knows more than me and I need to follow their way. I need to listen to what they say and not what's here. They must know more than me. They've got 1.2 million followers. No, it's about what's here. It's about your unique expression. It's about your truth. It's literally about peeling ourselves away from the deep, deep programming that we need to follow what other people say, that we need to put other people on a pedestal. You know, this whole Hollywood sort of like celebrityism is going to fall. It's going to crumble. It already is. It's already crumbling because it's a program, it's a paradigm that separates ourselves, that keeps us separated from who we are, makes us feel insecure, inadequate, lack, creates lack. When you look up to somebody, there is a lack within you. When you believe that somebody has the answers for you, there is a lack within you. We are the only ones deep inside of us that have the absolute truest answer and expression and resonance. That's not to say that there aren't individuals out there that have brilliant knowledge. Of course there is. That's our role, is to assist humanity, right? We're all assisting humanity. But the buck stops here. I put me first. I put my truth first. I put my knowingness first. Right? I put my resonance first. What do I feel? You know, you have all of these things. People always talk about this false light, right? What's false light? What's false light? What's false light? Right? I love that term, false light. There's no such thing as false light. It's a dichotomy. It's like there is no such thing as false light. Light is light. Light can't be false. You understand? Energy is energy. Energy can't be false. It's only felt. Okay? What can be false is the illusion of physicality in front of that energy. Do you understand? Energy doesn't lie or manipulate. It is purely itself, energy. So when you feel into something, does it feel expansive? Does it feel good? Does it feel light, or does it feel heavy and dark? The illusion of the physicality in front of it is what is the falseness around it, right? So you really want to recognize what this is all about, what this world is all about. Energy doesn't lie. It's pretty exciting how this whole thing is going to collapse. It's exciting how we're going to navigate this. And so just remember, before I go, just remember, you guys, that there's nothing wrong with this darkness. That's another program, right? That there is something that if we look at the dark and if we focus on the dark, we're perpetuating it. No, it's called reality. It's why you incarnated into the physical body, is to be here, is to experience this, is to walk through it courageously. That's why you're here. Not to say, oh, nope, I don't think I'm going to look at that. Nope, I'm not going to look at that. I'm going to positive think my way through this. You can't positive think your way through a collective shadow. If you do that, you will find yourself in massive amounts of suffering and struggle and absolute denial. We are here to be human. We are not here to elevate out of it. We are here to feel all of it. We're here to see all of it. And the power comes in your choice in how you navigate it. The choice in what you feed and what you do not feed. The choice in what you play in or what you do not play in. The choice of keeping your eyes wide open and seeing everything, or closing your eyes and pretending it's not happening. Positive thinking or manifesting your way into some new world that's already right here, right now. There's nowhere we're going, and there's nothing to manifest. It's being human. All of you, every ounce of your humanness, all of your anger and rage and sadness and fear and anxiety and stress and worry and joy and peace and sovereignty and respect and compassion and empathy, all of it. You're here to have all of that from a space of sovereignty, which is that you are safe to have it all. You're safe to experience it all. Empowerment, which means that you are choosing. You are choosing. And free will. You do you, and you let everyone else do them. So as it gets darker, as it gets more intense, that is the collective shadow crumbling. That is the collective shadow crumbling. And how do you want to crumble through it? How do you want to move through it? And every choice you make is a choice of a consciousness, a state of consciousness. And so what you really want to ask yourself is, what state of consciousness am I choosing? Over and over and over again. And can I have compassion and empathy for myself as I navigate it? Can I have compassion and empathy for others as they navigate it? Because it's all gonna crumble. And we get to watch it. And we get to shine our light through it. So wherever you are in the world, you're not alone. You're not alone. We're all in this together. We're all going through this together, just in different ways, depending upon the country that we're in. But we're all going through it. So keep your head up. Keep your heart open. Keep your eyes open. Trust yourself. Trust yourself more than anyone else in the world. Trust your knowingness. Trust what you feel. That's the purest answer that you will ever receive about what is occurring and how to get through it. Okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Put your seatbelt on. We're on a ride, and we're on the ride together. So put your hands up. Just imagine all of us on one huge, large roller coaster, right? And we get through it. We get through it. I love you guys so much. I'll keep this posted. I'll post this on my Instagram and Facebook. Be gentle with yourself today. Be gentle with others. I love you.